right, I think we are back after that hiccup. The first time that I've had a hiccup streaming. Not entirely sure what happened there, but we should be back here. There we go. Everything is working, I think. Hopefully. So I also figured out my chat issue. So hopefully everything will be working as promised you. I realized the stream went down fairly quickly, but you didn't miss a whole bunch. It was just me running around in circles doing nothing. But I think we've finally located where Lewis is hiding. So we are going to track him down at the bar. The bar is where they say he is hiding. So we have talked to the barkeep. That is where he is. So now I assume, yeah, okay, so it's starting us at that location regardless. So I think if we just go to the bar and talk to the barkeep, we should be able to find Lewis. Still working out the kinks in this whole streaming game. We'll get it eventually here. Let's see. Yeah, now we can talk to the bartender without
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Rock. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day.
Alright, so we know he is upstairs now. So now we can go talk to Lewis about said murder. Presumably this is the door that we couldn't...
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Oh, Lewis.
Charles Reed,
you
private
look terrible.
Investigator.
You
Mr.
look
Throgmorton
terrible,
hired me to
Lewis.
find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. So I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
Yeah, why do you look like that? You look terrible.
Why
Lewis.
do you... Your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Want to spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
Why do people hate
I hear there's a
the
bit of a feud
Throgmortons?
between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
What's a
You
grand
mentioned a
family?
grand family. What do you mean?
Blackwoods?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
So, do we tell Throgmorton or not about this guy? Charles Reed seems like a fairly compassionate fellow, so I don't think he would.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
Oh, he's willing to give me bullets. Okay, well, I don't really think I'm.
You think you're the
pretty
first
bribed.
person to offer me a bribe?
Please, Mr. Reed.
Now, don't try my patience further, Mr. Flynn.
All right, so we've got all the evidence from Lewis. So now we've got a choice to make whether we found Lewis Flynn. He admitted that he was at the crime scene, but he doesn't remember. All right. Okay, so oh, I see. So now we've pieced together all of the clues, so we get this clue here. So Lewis was under mental influence. Lewis killed Albert. What is going on? Seems I'm not streaming again for some reason. So am I online or offline? Seems like I'm online. This seems like it's been a problem-solving adventure. So it says I'm online on Twitch, but I'm not. Well, it seems to say I'm streaming, so I don't know whether this is simply my view is simply cacked out on me or what, but I guess we'll keep playing and see what happens. So we just discovered Lewis here, that Lewis was under mental influence. We have the choice of trying to cover for him, or we could tell Robert Throgmorton the truth. And hi Aegeus, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Yeah, we've had some issues here today. I'm not sure what's going on with the stream. I've never had this many problems streaming before. I guess today is one of those exceptions. So we've just discovered Lewis. We've got to go talk to Throgmorton now to see well, to probably get past this area, so we will go do that now and see what we can do. Hopefully there'll be no more issues. Hope you had a great weekend, Aegeus. I was looking forward to getting back and playing this game. I haven't had a chance to play it since I picked it up last Thursday. So, alright, Robert. Is the murderer dead or is he alive?
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling the back alleys. They tore him apart. It was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood. That may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's from his jacket. Just ask his friends.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beast's. Something must be done about those pests. Still, justice has been served. This isn't closure, but at least I know now the story. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Kate.
Yeah, Aegeus, I picked up a PC
solves a
of my
crime
own,
the
so
police couldn't, but I digress.
It's
Remind me.
Quite a lot of fun.
What brought you to Oakmont?
So what am I doing in Oakmont? I'm trying to find the source of my visions. I'm investigating cases of insanity. I think I'm trying to find the source for my visions.
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things.
Yeah, Iggy, so far I'm enjoying the game. It's
I was drawn here.
I mean, I love the atmosphere and obviously the Cthulhu.
But I believe the source of this madness is here in Oakmont.
Is what draws me to a game like this.
An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
Hi, Starwish. Starwish armed with wings, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Yeah, it's I'm running it on its highest settings, so I'm sure you might be able to run it on lower settings.
About my expenses.
They will be reimbursed after you complete
so far
your
it's
task.
been good. This guy
Of
behind
course,
Mr. Throgmorton
You've
is kind
earned
of
some
freaking me out, though.
compensation for your work here at the port. I'll
Maybe they
also
could have
include a
made
fair
him less
advance in bullets.
visible.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
Whoa. So I have... Oh, I've got a revolver now. That's how I get my gun. Okay, so I have completed my first case, and I have a new case, Lost at Sea. So basically, we lied to this guy that we dealt with the guy, the Innsmelter, who had murdered his son. So now we have a new case. Maybe we can actually leave this area. That would be cool. So he funded an expedition to discover the origin of the mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed near Oakmont, and they lost contact with the expedition, and his son was subsequently murdered. So we need to... he will be waiting for his... Yeah, I haven't run into any quirks yet. We'll see. It doesn't provide a lot of... The Mind Palace is kind of... I'm not used to that yet, so that'll... Once I figure out how to use that properly, I think I'll be in a much better position. So he's going to be waiting at his manor in southern Old Grove. And the expedition's headquarters, it is in northern Coverside at the crossroads of Asher Road and Hubert Ave. Okay, so Coverside, Asher Road, and Hubert Ave. So, where is Coverside? There's Coverside. Asher Road. Ah, Kingsport Street. Love that. Loved it. There's Asher Road and Hubert. So here is where we need to go in this area right here. And we are down here. We also need to find... We also needed to go to our hotel, which I believe is this moon symbol. And I also wanted to go to the newspaper. So we've got a few different places to go now. Maybe we can actually leave this area now that we have completed this particular part of the adventure. So we can actually place a mark on this map. So I'm going to maybe mark Asher Road and Hubert. So if we place a mark right here, we can place... Yeah, we'll place a mystery symbol. No, not there. Oh well. Alright, okay, I see what we have to do. So if we put a... Now if we place a mark, we'll be okay. There we go. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we can go to this one here. Now we can delete that. Alright, now we're getting the hang of this. Alright, let's see if we
I
can't
gave
go...
you clear instructions,
Yes.
did I not?
Let's go see if we can't leave this area. Now we can go see what some of the other areas are like. Yep, the cops are gone, so now we can leave. I may just have to play through this again, just so once I've figured out everything. Once I've figured out all the quirks of getting past that initial that's weird. I guess that was another one of our visions. So he has funded an expedition to discover the origin of the mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed. This is all the stuff we know already, so... We have Dayware. I don't know what exact... Oh, my diary. Okay, I don't know exactly what sank the USS Cyclops. Only remember the screams of metal creaking, water filling the decks, and my headache, the worst I've ever had. I found myself among the floating seaweed, drowning. A nearby piece of a boat helped me survive and reach the shore of a small island. They found me on it later, starving, half-mad, and babbling about the ancient ruins and their denizens. The officials said none of what I thought I'd seen was real, but my memories are true. My strange powers gained after that ordeal prove it. I found something horrible on that island, something old and dark and slithering, and it still haunts me. How many hours am I in? I'm not that far in yet. Probably only about an hour and maybe hour and a half. So can we get out of this? There we go. Maybe only an hour and a half so far. Maybe 2. Plea for help. Dear Mr. Reed, I understand you are a private eye that caught the murderer in the port. My life is in danger and I cannot trust anyone in this city. Please come to my room, which is just opposite yours. I am in despair. My studies have drawn the attention of vile forces. They stalk me and will take me soon. I have cast my lot, and I am beyond saving, but the 7 books must be saved at any cost. Even if I'm gone, find my notes there. This knowledge must not be lost, as it could be Arkhan's last hope for enlightenment. Please be the bearer of this light, for I have failed. Is it the 7 cryptical books of Hassan? That might be, let's forget I need to hold down the, So I got some alcohol, shell casings, coil springs, cordite, gunpowder, so a bunch of, some antipsychotics and a first aid kit. Okay, so what's this? All that we see or seem is just a dream within a dream.
Never again, they say.
Okay. Something in the dresser here. Oh, we got the wardrobe, so we can change. We can change into our wind coat. We haven't unlocked these yet, I guess. Oh, there's our day wear. Oh, we can look like a man of science. Oh, the fisherman. That hat is just not... We can look like a police envoy. Oh, dear, that's creepy. The plague doctor, the master sleuth, the... Oh... the cultist with the squid hat and the human parts dress. Oh, dear. Or we can look like we're Slavic. I like this wind coat look. Let's do that. Okay, so we've changed our look a little bit. Yeah, the whole cultist look. Dear me. That is creepy. I think I'd have to really lose my sanity before I start wearing that thing. We found a crumpled letter. Mr. Reed, you were the rare example of a man who treated one of my kind humanely, and I feel I have to repay the debt to you. Take this as a friendly piece of advice. Run, save your life, and leave this Drock city to the depths. Don't dig into the secrets, for they're not worth it. There's nothing good left here. I believe you can find a way to escape. Please heed my words. Lewis Finn. So Lewis has warned us to run for the hills, basically. There's a nice poster of a... Looks like a dove and a sea, like a boat shattered on the rocks of some kind. Alright, what else do we have here? I think we're pretty much done in this room. Let's go see what our friend on the other side... Oh, there's another letter here. A note from Mr. Johann Vanderberg. We met him at the beginning of this adventure. Mr. Reed, it seems that you overexerted yourself while conducting the investigation for Mr. Throgmorton. Forgive me for the audacity, but I brought you to the Devil's Reef while you were unconscious. Please take more care of yourself in the future. I won't be there for you every time. Johannes. Okay. Did we exert ourselves? I wasn't aware that we had exerted ourselves too much.
Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already.
Oh, so we have our name on the door already? We just got here. Is this must be the Devil's Reef, I guess, then. So she's this person. I don't know why I'm assuming she's a she. Book in the bank. Talking with the locals is never easy, but this old chap was one of the queerest yet. He was happy to talk about the book, but only laughed when I proposed to buy it. I left it in the most guarded place of the city and paid enough to keep it there until the world ends. And if it is abandoned after the flood, even better. Ignorance is the best guardian. I'm guessing he meant the abandoned bank building in Northern Advent on the Forefathers Street between Helog Street and Windhalf Ave. Alas, it would be too dangerous to go there by myself. Alright, so there's an abandoned bank building in Northern Advent on Forefathers Street between Helog Street and Windhalf Ave. Okay, maybe we should, let's mark that on our map. So, Northern Advent. Okay. Is this the abandoned bank building? Forefathers, Windhalf Ave, Helog. So there's something up there. Okay. I think I might want to mark this. Just in case. I'm going to put a danger sign there, because I think they said it was too dangerous to go alone, so chances are that that's not a great place to go. Tome in the ruins. Local women were talking about a ruined house in central Coverside near the radio tower on the crossing of Landing Avenue and Kingsport Street. They said the ghosts of the house owner and his family still read the unholy book they kept. Several newcomers who tried to settle in those ruins have gone mad. Okay, so there's a book in Landing Avenue and Kingsport Street. Okay, we got more stuff for our map. Landing Avenue and Kingsport Street is right there. So we'll mark that as well, I think. Some mystery there. So we're getting lots of little side quests going here. Bewitched Tome. The local legends may be more than mere superstition. A dozen witches were hanged on a huge apple tree that still grows near the cider mill. Among these documents is a confession. One of the witches said the devil himself granted them a book with the words of power. This book hides itself from mortal eyes, waiting for the witches to reborn and return to claim it. The witch who wrote this confession lived in eastern Reed Heights, somewhere north of the intersection of Communion Road and Museum Avenue. Could the book still be hidden there? So Reed Heights, Communion Road, Museum Avenue. All right. Reed Heights, Communion Road, and Museum Avenue. Okay, so we got somewhere over here we've got stuff to deal with. So we found a bunch of information about mythos tomes. Building the church was his redemption. Day after day he worked without payment, carrying stones and putting them in the moist soil of Salvation Harbor. At night, when he returned to his house behind the church, he could not sleep. The book his ancestors brought across the ocean called. When the church was built, the priest found him hanged on the bell ropes, but the book is still waiting for someone to come and read it. His house is in central Salvation Harbor on the Old Church Road between Seven Oaks and Windheim Street. Salvation Harbor, Old Church Road, Seven Oaks, and Windheim. Salvation Harbor, Old Church Road, Seven Oaks, and Windheim. Okay, so there's Old Church Road, there is Seven Oaks, and there is Windheim. Oh, there's Windheim there. So there's a house. Sounds like there is some sort of book hidden here as well. Alright. So we have a lot of books to go find. Found some more gunpowder, some shell casings. Anything else in this room? No, there's another... The Hidden Book. It took a lot of effort to track down this book. After being stolen from the Throgmorton Museum, it was brought by a local surgeon who was found dead in his house after the flood. I snuck in and checked out his place, but in vain. Still, there is somewhere else the tome may be. The private hospital in western Reed Heights, where the surgeon worked, has been abandoned. The archives say it is on Bourbon Road between Innsmouth Road and Oak Street. Yeah, a lot of reading, Tim. It's well, this is a big lore dump here. I think there are 7 books that we can go find, and we have a bunch here. Mythos tomes. So we're looking for Bourbon Street, Innsmouth Road, and Oak Street in Reed Heights. So we've got a bunch of stuff in Reed Heights. Oak Street, there's Bourbon Road. There's Oak Street. And Innsmouth Road. So there's... The hospital is somewhere in here. Alright. So, Reed Heights has a couple of books. Looks like there's a couple over here in Coverside. I think these blue streets will need to take a motorboat to get them. Now, where do we want to go, I guess, is the question. I'd kind of like to go to the newspaper and see that first. See if there are any clues there. Hey, Gorbachev, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. Had some little bit of trouble at the beginning, but now we're getting along here. We found a bunch of clues to different books. The Tomb of the Mayor. The fishermen talk of a place near Blackwood Manor on the southern part of Whisper Street where meetings occur. In the dead of night, the locals don't like this part of eastern Grimhaven Bay because they seem to fear those who gather near the half-built ships. They say a certain book is read at these meetings, a cursed tome that makes people so crave the sea's touch that they go and drown in the ocean. The one reading the book stands on a cursed boat that sinks in the fog. Those who saw it touch the shore have either gone mad or disappeared. So this is in Grimhaven Bay. Place near the Blackwood Manor. Yeah, the aborted stream, unfortunately. I think the Cthulhu didn't want us to unveil his secrets, so we had a bit of a hiccup at the beginning. Hopefully things are better now for everyone. So this is Grimhaven Bay, near the Blackwood Manor. So where is that? Grimhaven Bay, Whisper Street. So this one's kind of dangerous. I'm going to mark this one as a danger spot because there's a book there, but it is potentially nasty. I boarded up the windows, unlocked the door. They are just men. The Yellow King's gang. They can't get here now. Now there's only me and these nightmares. A little longer and I'll figure them out. Ah, maybe it's the agent of the Yellow King. Him and his gang are taunting this person, whoever this is. The Wheel Tome. I had a dream so real it still makes my hands shake. A huge Ferris wheel rose amidst the city. People got on and rode it higher and higher before jumping off at its peak. As the pile of corpses grew bigger, the crowd pushed me to the wheel. And then I saw a man with a leather bag. He was standing in the center of the wheel and reading from a book. His awful dirge was making the wheel rotate and dragging the crowd to their slaughter. Could this vision be real? I know there is a Ferris wheel at the park in western Old Grove near Century Ave and Beacon Street. But where could the book be? Century Ave and Beacon Street. Alright, in Old Grove. And Old Grove is north. Century Ave and Beacon Street. There's Century Ave. And here's Beacon Street. So this is where the Ferris wheel is. Alright, so we're uncovering a lot of... I think we've found all the information for the tomes we need. Whoa, there's symbols on the ceiling! Can I even get a good view of it? Yeah, it looks like somebody has been drawing some protective signs on the ceiling. Are those like astrological symbols? Hard to tell. Oh, and there's the yellow sign on the floor. Have you seen the yellow sign? I have indeed. There are 3 of them on the floor here. Alright, well, we have a lot of side quests now. We got a note. Mr. Archer, I've seen you dragging things into your room. Mind the floors. I'll make you pay for any scratches you leave. The landlord. So, Mr. Archer.
The door won't
So I
budge.
need to find a key for that room. That door doesn't open. Okay, this is another room. Found some shell casings and metal scrap. Nothing else. Okay, so that's Archer's room. Can't go into either of those. We could go up there. Or down. Alright, let's go up. Since we're here, we might as well go explore. The top floor. Can't go in there. Can't go in there. Okay, so we found this room. Ah, a map. Found some gunpowder and alcohol. This must be a cop's room of some kind. Too many coincidences. So the lighthouse is out, several ships have gotten lost at sea, and some are now decorating the city's beaches. That's one thing. But now there's an enterprising fellow at the city port hiring salvagers to recover ships. He's turning a tidy profit from selling them. Can't be a coincidence. Need to look into it. Now, if only this city wasn't so impossible to navigate. We haven't run into that yet, but so we've picked up a whole bunch of side quests here. Doesn't look like there's anything else in this room. Nothing in the bathroom. No, nothing on the roof. Which way did we come? Came from that way. The green doors don't look like they can be opened. The gray doors can be opened. This hotel's in rough shape. Ooh. What's that? Yeah, that picture has... That's a very metal cover, I tell you. That guy's face has seen better days. Do we see anything in here that's worth finding? Doesn't look like it. Alright. So, we've found everything we can find on this floor. Alright. Again, the open worlds with lots of doors that are locked. So we might as well go downstairs. Maybe we'll find our landlord and we can talk to him.
Finally, you're awake.
Uh-oh.
Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here, you stop making all that noise.
That guy looks rough. Man, why does everybody
Sorry,
look so rough in this town?
Who are you again?
You bang your head or something? I'm Victor Olmsted. I own the place. This place.
Olmsted
the
is such
Devil's
a...
Reef Hotel.
I think Olmsted is one of those rich Cthulhu names that's appeared in various Chaosium supplements over the years.
Noise? What
Guess
noise
it's
are you
an
talking
homage
about?
to those
I
great...
expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
I didn't do any chanting.
Got any proof it was me? It could have been one of my neighbors. I slept like a rock. I didn't hear a thing.
That's exactly what a newcomer would say. Your neighbors are respectable people and would never do such a thing. Don't think your yellow-clad can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine, fine. Take what you wish.
Whoa. Holy crap. Talk about a... How many... Are those all, like, side quests? Yeah, look at all this stuff. Holy smokes. So these are all of our books. These are the 7 books that they mentioned that we were finding. Okay. Letters from Oakmont. Among them I found several pages from the diary of a man describing his life in Oakmont. He suffered from visions and marked the places where they happened. Was he trying to avoid them? So the Lullaby Crossroad. Today I fell asleep in the street. I'm sure it's connected to my vision somehow because I felt the same nausea and headache as before they strike. It happened in Coverside near the corner of Tanner Street and Old Church Road. Okay, Coverside, Old Church Road. Sorry, what was the Tanner Street and Old Church Road? Where is Tanner Street? Here's Old Church Road. I don't see a Tanner Street, though. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this intersection right here. So there's something going on right there. I'm glad they put all this stuff on here, so it's easy to find. It's a lot of lore, though, to dump on you. Like, how many... It's like we had one quest to deal with at the beginning, and now we've got, like... Local Innsmouthers scare me a lot. I've never seen a place with so many ill people. Their faces pursue me even in visions. Recently I was in the northern part of Grimhaven Bay, walking down Whisper Street. I barely made it to Hubert Ave. Okay. Whisper Street in Hubert Ave. Whisper Street. There's Whisper Street there. I don't see Hubert Ave, though. There's Whisper Street. Where's Hubert Ave? Oh, there it is, there. Okay. So that's another one. Okay, so we've got a ton of visions to, we have found a ton of visions to the terrible fetus. After this vision, I shake in fear at the sound of a child's cry. It happened in Western Reed Heights on Washington Street. I passed Ivan Street and was heading toward Oak Street, but I saw it. The thing was running so fast I didn't even understand what it was. It jumped from the window and the vision struck me immediately. I saw a man, a doctor, hiding in the room. He was writing something with a shaking hand, something like a last will. And then I saw the thing stalking him, a fetus on thin, pointy legs with a little face full of evil and hatred. It's shrieking. I can't forget it. So this was Washington Street towards Oak on Ivan in Reed Heights. Washington Street. What was it again? I passed Ivan Street heading towards Oak. Okay, so that was... he was over here. Past Ivan Street, heading towards Oak. So it's somewhere over here. Yeah, okay. So the terrible fetus is somewhere over there. Alright, from behind, I can't help but turn around at any noise after what I saw yesterday. I walked down the Murdoch Avenue in Western Advent, and near Oak Street I was hit by an excruciating migraine. My nose started to bleed and the visions came. I saw one man writing a letter and another about to strike him from behind. Somehow I was both the spectator and the sitting man, but no matter how I cried out warnings or tried to move, it didn't work. It seems I lost consciousness when the killer hit the man's head, and it took me several hours to get back to the hotel after. So this was Murdoch in Western Advent near Oak Street. Murdoch. There's Oak Street. Here's Murdoch. Okay, so it was walking down Murdoch near Oak Street. So he was walking down Murdoch near Oak Street. Okay. That's that one. Voices from the pipes. I'm afraid of the bathroom and the kitchen sink. Each time I want to wash my hands, I tremble in fear. What if they talk to me? This began after a vision in Western Reed Heights near the crossing of Iban, Ward, and Baker Streets. Reed Heights, Iban, Ward, so right here. Iban, Ward, and Baker Streets. This was the voices in the pipes. So, I saw a man, naked and covered in blood, in a room without doors or windows, surrounded by the dark holes of the pipes. He was cutting himself piece by piece, feeding those copper mouths. They were whispering with voices so sweet and promising, but full of hunger and hatred. How could he believe them? Could he even escape, and had they noticed me? Static in ears. I was walking in the Lumbert Street in Eastern Reed Heights when it happened again. It's not just a vision, but a noise, hissing radio static, growing louder and louder. Voices from afar were lost in it, crying desperately. I tried not to show how bad it was. I was afraid to reveal it to the locals. The images came after I passed Bullock Street towards Helog Street. And this was on Lumbert Street, between Bullock and Helog. Lumbert Street. Okay, between Bullock and Helog? There's Helog and there's Lumbert. Okay, so it's in here somewhere. Man, we're going to have a lot of places to go here. We're going to have more places to go than we know what to do with. So many side quests. Call of the Ocean. Tonight the air forced me to leave the hotel. The putrid smell of rotting seaweed and fish made it hard to breathe. I remembered a huge apple tree and thought it may be nicer there. Moreover, I was afraid that the hotel owner would see my seizures. The visions occurred when I was a few blocks from the apple tree walking E. Brown Street in Central Shells. I felt like I was drowning. I ran forward, and when I passed the street of St. Michael's Church, I felt the water surrounding me, pressing, calling. I needed all my will to fight the desire to go to the mare and sink into its depths. So, walking East Brown Street in Central Shells. Don't think we've had anything in Shells yet. So here's Eastern E. Brown Street. And he was... When I passed the street of St. Michael's Church. Do they even mention St. Michael's Church? St. Michael's Road. So it looks like it's this area right here. To the east of the corner, yeah, so right in there. Almost done here. We've only got 4 to go. Disgusting exaltation. No matter how different my visions may be, they are always so frightening. Today it was man. He left a house in southern Old Grove on Warwick Street, somewhere between Seaside and Hill Streets. Southern Old Grove on Warwick, between Seaside and Hill. Old Grove, Seaside on Warwick, between Seaside and Hill. Okay. Man, I wish I was doing something more exciting, but I feel like we need to mark all these down before we start wandering the city. Mirrors, mirrors, I'm afraid someone stalks me. I've started when I visited Western Advent and had a vision at the intersection of Purity Road and Oak Street. Purity Road and Oak Street in Advent. So that is Purity Road and Oak Street. So right there. Purity Road and Oak Street. That's where the other one was. So we could just wander the city experiencing visions for hours on end. Lone child. The visions are testing me, playing with my mind. My old forgotten fears come to life. When I was small, I was afraid to stay alone. I thought my parents would leave and never come back. Today I went to the eastern streets of Coverside, and the visions came on the corner of St. Elmo Lane and Kingsport Street. Coverside at St. Elmo and Kingsport. So right in there. So there's a bunch of stuff in that area. Right in there. Okay. We got 1 to go in our case book, and that is Forlorn Woman. This city, no matter how badly the flood damaged it, has an unnatural appeal. I can't stop myself from walking, even if it means being struck by further visions. I went to the eastern part of Salvation Harbor near the crossing of Fitz-O'Callahan Street and Old Church Road. Fitz-O'Callahan and Old Church Road. Where is that? Fitz-O'Callahan and Old Church Road. So there's Old Church Road. Fitz-O'Callahan. Somewhere in here? Old Church Road. There's Marsh. I don't see a Fitz-O'Callahan. Interesting. Don't see the road where they're talking about. So it was Old Church Road? Near the crossing of Fitz O'Callahan and Street and Old Church Road. But it was in Salvation Harbor. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's right there. So it's sort of on the boundary. That's why I didn't see it. Okay. So we have marked all of these places on our map. We know we have to visit them for visions at some point. We are in Coverside at the moment. So we can go... I'd sort of like to go to the newspaper still first, and then we can go... We've got this place here. There was a book hidden there. And then we can go... we could go down Old Colony Street and Mayflower Street and up Orchard Ave to the newspaper. Alright, let's check out to see if there's anything else in this place worth... some shell casings and gunpowder. Nothing else in here. So apparently he doesn't mind if I rob him. That's... My dear Victor, how is Oakmont treating you? Should you require any support, the Blackwoods will be happy to help you. I have arranged for that. Regarding your question, I don't know where Robert went, sadly, only that he did not stay in Innsmouth. Perhaps there is hope he didn't perish in that cursed raid. Take good care of the hotel, please. Plenty of our relatives were interested in the property, but you're still my favorite nephew. I know the Devil's Reef is in good hands. Kind regards, Aunt Portia. Alright, so our buddy Victor here is definitely an Innsmouther. He's got an Aunt Portia. I'm sure we'll run into her at some point. Burbank's Ice Cream and Soda. Let's see, 15 to 1800 dead. Valley of Death. Old newspaper. So not much over here to look at. Giant shell. What's on the ceiling here? Some sort of giant arachnid? Is that a spider sort of beast? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it's got 10 legs, so it can't be a spider. We've got... What do we have on the walls here? We've got a crumbling mansion. More ships lost at sea. So I guess we are... Oh, there's a note here. Note about the hobo signs. Darren, I think I'm finally starting to figure this out. Locals use signs to mark special places that you know already, kind of like the secret signs hobos use all over the country. What I learned is that the tradition dates back to times well before the flood. It's a Japanese spider crab. Okay, well that explains things. I've been able to find out the meaning of some of them. You've seen the crooked H-shaped sign on doors around town. That means that the house is inhabited. The crosshatch grid sign marks hidden caches of useful items. The V-shaped sign is for barricaded, dangerous places. Good catch there, they say. Still haven't figured out the spiral-shaped sign, though. You'll have to investigate for yourself. And if you see a sign with a cross and 3 Ks, reach for the gun. Okay, so that's... So V-shaped is dangerous. Cross with 3 Ks, we need to start shooting. Okay, so how do we get our gun, just in case we need it? Fire weapon, use gadget. Reload weapon. Tab items. So if I tab... Oh, there we go. Oh, alright. Alright, so now we've got a gun. So can we still... Yeah, we can still hatch it, and we've got a gun. Alright, we're ready to go here. This is Oakmont. How terrible it looks. This place has really seen better days. We've got sort of Cthulhuoid stuff coming out of the walls. We got wrecked boats. We've got a shark. Pieces of a shark. Now, we need to go to... We're going to go up Old Colonial to Mayflower to Orchard. So let's test out the boat. This is a nasty looking place. This is a really rough town. Like a whale of some kind. Hey, some people. Haven't seen many people. There's still people living in... Oh, there's a guy vomiting. Okay, so obviously not freakish people picking garbage and vomiting on the side of the road.
Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print.
So
Buy a paper, mister?
Dombrowski's Real Estate. The Oakmont Chronicle. That's where we were going to go. Alright, to the newspaper.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Help me out here. What's the connection between newcomers and old newspapers?
It's cold sleeping in the street, and they come to collect the old newspapers for warmth.
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers. The archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case. Nice work. I'm Helen Bland. Say, can you do me a favor? Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland.
Yeah.
Do you still want that interview? I got some
Sounds
time
good.
now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
You're not going to get a pad of paper to take down my information? You're just going to memorize all this. Well, I served in the Navy.
I'm a former Navy diver. Served on the USS Cyclops, and well, after the war, I found myself in Boston. I've been a private eye ever since.
Oh, a brave sailor. Well, I imagine you'll get accustomed to local life easily. We have plenty of water around here. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont?
I've
not
been
gonna tell her
investigating
that I'm having
disappearances all
visions.
around Massachusetts. The missing people all seem to have ended up here for some reason.